Dictation for Rajasthan District Court Exams, Exercise 31 at the speed of 100 words per minute. Be ready? Start. The state should defray the entire cost of the education of its people in order that there might be no backwardness in the speed of enlightenment among them, that by diffusing education they might become better subjects and public servants. Even after 200 years, the discourse in the economics of education continues to oscillate between differing education and education cess. The historic royal rescript of 1817 proclaimed education as the responsibility of the state. Simultaneously, it emphasized that political will is more important than the political economy to decide the expenditure on education. Stop para. A democratic welfare state ensconced in liberal economics cannot defend the steady and continuous fall in public spending on education and levying of education cess on its people. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights UDHR in Article 26 1 and 2 by the General Assembly of the UN emphasizes in clear terms that every individual has the right to education and that it should aim for holistic development, which in turn would evolve respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. Stop para. 7 decades after the UDHR, 58 million children are out of school globally, and more than 100 million children get eliminated from the schooling system before completing primary education. India tops the list of countries with out of school children. The 2011 census affirmed that 84 million children in the country do not go to school at all, and 47 million children get eliminated even before class 10th. Stop para. Education, with all its idealist moorings, when it comes to its institutionalization, is shaped by the political economy of the state. But why is it that an ideological dispensation that fought and won the election on a plank of nation first and nationalism and is considerate of right education in nation building is unable to negotiate with the compulsions of a liberal economy? Nation and nationalism with an ethnic and religious core is the philosophical and political perspective that has guided the formulation of new education policy 2020. It is strange that while Travancore, a princely state in colonial India, could appreciate the genuineness of public funding of mass education, the government of a democratic welfare state cannot realize the very NEP it has produced. Stop para. Kerala is known for its highest literacy rate in the country and 100% enrollment of children in primary and secondary education. With around 46 lakh students, 16,000 schools, and 1.69 lakh teachers, the student teacher ratio and student school ratio reveal a desirable scenario. With more than 20,000 non teaching staff, the teachers are not burdened with non teaching or administrative work and are free to concentrate on their pedagogical roles, along with another flagship program for adult education. Athulayam helped Kerala to achieve universalization of primary education. This is no mean feat in a country with structural obstructions to education. Stop para. This universalization could be achieved with the prioritization of education by successive governments. It is the fruition of the total literacy campaign started by then left front government in 1989. The successful implementation of PRISM, promoting regional schools to international standards through multiple interventions and whopping allocations to develop one school in each assembly segment to international standards is what can be seen as the reason behind the tectonic shift of 2.35 lakh students from private to public schools. Nobel laureates Amartya Sen has written extensively on the Kerala model of education and attributes Kerala's economic and social success to the consistency with which school education expanded based on sustained public policies and action. Successive governments in Kerala have increased the capital outlay to education and simultaneously decentralized financing of education through local bodies. Stop.